Hi everyone, Alex here. Welcome back to the channel. So you know that if I upload on YouTube these days, it's because I have something important to say. And yeah, today it's the case. We are going to do a tier list of the entire discography of Mice and Men, and that's to celebrate the release of their new album called Tether. It was just released today. So excited to do that. I have so much to say. That's why I felt it was important for me to make this video. I'm not uploading a lot on YouTube these days, but I'm planning on making a comeback, leaving for Florida tomorrow. But after I'm coming back, I'll definitely upload more. Other than that, first video shot with the iPhone 15 Pro, so hopefully the quality will be better. I'm currently uploading in 4K. 60 frames per second, so hopefully it will do the job. Anyway, that's not the subject. We're here to talk about Of Mice and Men. I made a ranking video for their album 6 years ago. The latest album back then was Defy, so it's been a long time. 3 new albums since then. We'll see how these new ones are ranking and if we will have some S tier album. Probably, guys, I'm telling you. Anyway, guys, let's go for the tier list of Mice and Men. Okay, so in my tier list, I made the album are not in the release order, but I'll go with the release order. So the first album is the self-titled album. It was released a bit before I was a fan. I discovered them between Restoring Force and The Flood. So I was a bit too young for this one, but of course I listened to it a lot. It's a strong debut album, kind of set up the basics for The Flood, but they were not quite there yet. So it's a solid debut, but they proved us later in their career that they can do much better. So that's why I'm placing the self-titled in B tier. Pretty good album, but they'll demolish it in terms of quality later in their career. Okay, so second album, The Flood. And we'll take into account the bonus tracks. So I think that's The Calm, The Storm, The Flood, The Depth, yeah. Because that version of the album is even better. But even if we don't count these songs, it will still end up in the same place. Because that's for me, I'm telling you right now, guys, my favorite album by Of Mice and Men. It was the case when I made my video 6 years ago, still is the case, and I think it will be forever that way. So I have no choice to put it into the S tier section. Definitely one of the best albums of metalcore ever created, in my opinion. One of the most impactful albums in my life. So I have no choice to put it in the S section. But it will be interesting to see later in the list if we will have other S. Probably, guys, probably, but we'll see. I won't spoil you anything. So after that, their third album, Restoring Force. A lot of things change with that album because their bassist and vocalist Shaylee left. By the way, they shall just released an album as well, and it's solid, so check it out if you have time. So yeah, new vocalist, Aaron, Holly in the band. This changed everything. I think it's also the first album with Alan Ashby. Maybe he was there for the bonus tracks of The Flood. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, definitely a lot of lineup changes. That's really when the singles were released that I became a fan, and I love this album so much. It was so huge at the time. Of Mice was doing tours with Bring Me the Horizon. And this album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, which is massive for metalcore. It does not happen these days. So at this point in Of Mice and Men career, the sky was the limit. I don't know if that's even the expression, but you know what I'm saying. So for this reason, I think I don't like it as much as The Flood, but definitely better than the self-titled. So we'll put it in the A tier, right in between. Solid album. I still listen to it from time to time. It has some really great songs. Just thinking about You Make Me Sick and Bones Explode, these two are heavy as fuck, and I cannot get enough of them, to be honest. So yeah, after that fourth album, I remember that's after the tour with Linkin Park. I even met the guys back then before the Slipknot show when they were opening for Slipknot and Marilyn Manson. And it's kind of where everything fell apart, in my opinion, because this album was definitely a deception, if I have to be honest with you guys. They were at the same level of popularity as Bring Me the Horizon, if not better. Bring Me released Sempiternal, and then That's the Spirit, which was used for them. And Cold World was released, I think, at the same time as That's the Spirit, maybe like a few weeks apart, if I remember correctly. So it was their chance to see if they could still have another top 10 Billboard 200 debuts. I don't remember where this debuted, but it was definitely not as good, and the reaction to this album was definitely not as good as well. I think on Reddit a lot of people were saying like sorry or something. I don't even remember the meme, but it was definitely not well received. And even though there are some great moments on this album, like Pain, it's definitely not a great album, and it's the last album with the singer Austin Carlisle that left the band after this album due to medical problems and maybe some problems with the band. But I'm not saying that as a fact because I truly don't know, but I know he was really sick. So that's why for me this is still, and spoiler alert, it's still the worst of my Sandman album, even though I'm not putting it there neither because it's still pretty solid, but compared to the rest, not that great. After that, we have the album Defy, first album for Of Mice and Men as a 4-piece. I was there as well for their first show back in Las Vegas in 2018. There's a video of that on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's a solid return. But they can do better than that, and they proved that a few times after this album. I was not sure where to put this one. There or there. There, okay. I thought there was a glitch, but it's working. And my final decision was to put it right there because it's a bit stronger overall, I feel, but definitely not their strongest. There's a big gap, I feel like, between Restoring Force and this, so it's not like I could put it in the A tier. It's really like on par with the self-title, in my opinion. Still pretty cool. Few songs were big, like Back to Me, Unbreakable, which was the first song released. And the song Instinct is probably my favorite album. I listened to it a few days ago. Such a solid riff. I love this one. After that, guys, in 2019, so I think that was 2017, 18, I don't even remember, but I know for a fact this was 2019. And for the new iteration of Mice and Men, that's really their peak, in my opinion. They nailed everything with that album. It's near perfection. If The Flood was not like that big on the legacy part in my head, this one could be the top album, but I have to give it an S tier as well. It's so good from start to finish. There's not a single song I want to skip on this album each time I'm listening to it. It's just near perfection, just like The Flood is. So for me, the best album from modern Of Mice and Men is definitely this one. It's so good. I love it so much. And they're similar as well. Same type of color. This one as well, but let's not talk about this one again. And these two are similar as well. And this is funny because, and I'll talk about Tether more when we'll come to this album, but a lot of fans were saying, oh, Tether is definitely Echo 2.0. It's like the same song, the song that they're not making on this album. Also, some people on Reddit were like, oh, this album is boring. And you'll see my opinion of Tether is so different, and I'll explain why. But first, let's talk about Echo. And I feel like Echo. They continue what they did on Earth and Sky, but it's really not as good. Maybe it was just my mood at the time, but it did not hook me as much. So I'm putting it in the B section, better than Defy, but definitely not their strongest effort. Obsolete smashes. It's incredible. It's so good. I also really love, big fan of Fighting Gravity, probably my other favorite song from this album. But overall, it's not that the songs were bad or anything, but the replay value for this one, on my part, was not that high. So, but it's probably just me because I know a lot of fans love this album to death. So that's my opinion. It's still a good album, but I'm not crazy about it. And the new album, and I'll do like another guy that is doing the metal tier list does. I'll just put it at the end, so you'll be obligated to watch the video to know where I put it, because it will be on the screen for like 1 second. But let's talk about Tether. So the opinion on Reddit so far is not really good, I feel. I have not seen the opinion on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms, so I don't know. It's still pretty new. My opinion on it might change, but I love this album so far. The first single, Warpaint, was incredible. Did not care that much about Castaway, and then Indigo blew me away. I love it even more than Warpaint. The mood of this reflects on the rest of the album. There's so much like it. And I just love the atmosphere that Of Mice and Man created with Tether. The song will continue to grow on me for sure. I have pretty much a certainty that for me it will always be better than Echo. So that's why I'm putting it in the A section. So I want to know, guys, what you think about this brand new album. Do you agree with my ranking, or do you think it's full of shit? Let me know. Put your ranking in the comment section and we'll be able to compare it. Let me know your thoughts on the new album. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it incredible? Is it horrible? I want to know everything. So thank you all so much, guys, for watching. Take care. Have a great time, and I'll see you all next time.